Today I'm making bulgogi beef mac and cheese. It's not traditional bulgogi beef, but it's a quick and easy bulgogi style beef sort of thing. These are all the ingredients I'm going to be using. Now I don't usually use measurements, but I'll try to give you a rough estimate. First I boiled some water and then I put some corkscrew pasta in to boil. Now I cook these until al dente, then I give it a stir so they don't stick together. Next I start cutting up half an onion, and you want these to be very thin slices, or at least that's how I like it. You could cut it thicker if you really wanted to. Then get a stainless steel bowl and just transfer these into the bowl. Next you want to get your cloves of garlic and then just lightly smash them just to get some anger out. We're going to be putting these through a garlic press later on just so we could get it really nice and fine. Then you want to get your thinly sliced beef. I believe this is sirloin. Stack the pieces up, and I like to cut them an inch thick, but obviously everybody has a different preference, so do what you want. And I like to use this cut because it has a good amount of marbling, and you know that fat adds flavor. So once you're done chopping everything up, also add it to the steel bowl and mix it with the onions. Then you want to add about a teaspoon of olive oil. I'm using regular olive oil here, not extra virgin. And I don't want to add too much oil either because when the beef cooks down, it's going to reduce its fat. And also I already have some oil in the pan. Then I'm going to get my garlic from earlier and press it through the garlic press. Obviously you could chop this up, but it's a pain in the ass to do, so I just use a garlic press instead. Then you want to get some honey and add about a teaspoon into here. Sorry for the lighting, by the way. This is my first recipe video, so give me a break. Then you want to get some soy sauce and just sprinkle some in, about a teaspoon as well. You don't want to add too much because you don't want it to be too salty, plus we're going to be adding salt along the way like so. You just want to add a pinch of salt here, and then I like to add a good amount of black pepper because I like black pepper. Then you just want to mix this up until everything is evenly distributed on the beef and onions and stuff. Next you want to make sure your pan is at a medium-high heat. I'm using a cast iron pan here, and make sure it's hot before you put the beef in so it actually sears the beef properly. And also make sure to have about a tablespoon of oil in the pan as well. And this is what you want to see. You want to have a nice caramelization on the beef and onions. Then just take it out and let it rest on a plate. And in the same pan, add some heavy whipping cream. I'm not sure how much I added here. I think I used about a third of this box. And I like to use heavy whipping cream because it gets nice and thick and creamy after. You could also make a roux and then add milk and stuff and do it that way, but I prefer this way because it has a better mouthfeel in my opinion. Anyways, I added some smoked paprika, just a little bit because I know it could get kind of strong because of the smoky flavor. Then I added some red cayenne pepper for some heat. And yes, I'm adding garlic powder. I know I already added garlic to the beef and everything, but now we're seasoning the mac and cheese. Plus, I really like garlic, so honestly, this is where you can freestyle, man. Like, this is why I don't really measure, because everybody likes different preferences, and this is just how I make it. I'm also going to add some onion powder here and more black pepper. I like to add a lot of black pepper as well to this. It doesn't look like a lot, but I was just struggling to shake it out, so I cut the clip here. Then I add another pinch of salt, and here come the cheeses. I used orange cheddar, provolone, and Gran Padano cheese. Also here, you can freestyle it too. Use whatever cheeses you like. Same with the measurements too. You could freestyle if you like more of a heavy cheddar mac and cheese and add more cheddar. I switch it up all the time, like I add orange cheddar or white cheddar or sometimes mozzarella cheese as well. And when you're adding your cheeses, also make sure that your pan is not too hot or else it'll stick and burn to the bottom. It also affects the texture of the mac and cheese too in the end, so you don't want that. But once you add all the cheese to the cream mixture, then you want to start adding your pasta in and mix it through. You want to make sure your pasta is strained properly because you don't want that extra water to make it too runny. But if your cheese sauce is too thick, then you can add some pasta water to thin it out. And make sure it sounds like this. Then add your beef on top and add some parsley for some color and pop. And there you go, there's the end result. Honestly, I haven't seen many bulgogi beef mac and cheeses. This just came to my head because I thought, like, why not combine the two, and might be a good combination. And I was right because it tasted pretty good. You got the sweet and saltiness from the beef, and you got the creaminess and savoriness from the mac and cheese. And guys, I'll always be truthful on if my recipes are good or not. This is one of the good ones, trust me. Let me know if you try this out and tell me what you think. But at the end of the day, everybody has different taste buds and likes different things, so try to adjust it to your palate. Make sure to like, subscribe, share my content. I post food reviews and recipe videos, 3 short videos a week, so check those out as well, please. And I'm trying to post long form content as much as I possibly can.